A group therapy environment is fragile. When people gather to process emotions, disruptions, like sudden arguments or deep silences, are a guaranteed part of the ecosystem. These moments require the leader to perform a balancing act, addressing specific behaviors while maintaining a sense of security for everyone else in the room. Effective management preserves the foundational safety required for the group to do its actual therapeutic work. We can identify 6 archetypes of behavioral disruption that routinely test the group's cohesion. First is the monopolizer, who dominates airtime. The leader sets clear limits on speaking time to reclaim space, naming the pattern directly and kindly. The silent member withdraws. The leader gently invites participation without forcing it, recognizing silence carries many meanings. A hostile member challenges others. The leader blocks attacks to protect the group while looking for the unmet need beneath the hostility. Side conversations fragment attention. The leader redirects focus back to the whole group and reinforces shared norms. Scapegoating occurs when the group turns on one member. The leader interrupts the pattern to shield the target, exploring what issue the group is avoiding. Breaches of confidentiality threaten the group's survival. The leader addresses the breach directly to restore the rules that make therapy possible. The goal is calibrated control. Intervening too little leaves the group unsafe, while over-controlling the room robs members of their ability to learn self-management. Managing a complex room is often a 2-person job. By using a co-leadership dyad, facilitators can share the clinical load. This setup allows the leaders to monitor 2 separate tracks. One leader tracks the content, the topics and facts being discussed, while the other monitors the process, which includes the emotional undercurrents and patterns of interaction. This division of labor allows one facilitator to manage a member in crisis, while the other leader holds the rest of the group steady. Effective co-facilitation transforms the leader's role from a solo performance into a stabilized, resilient partnership. To maintain this stability, co-leaders must remain aligned on their goals, communicating before and after every session to present a united front. Disagreements between leaders are handled outside the room unless they are being used deliberately to model how to resolve conflict with respect. Unaddressed friction between leaders will inevitably leak into the group, where it destabilizes the member's sense of safety. Because the group relies on the leaders for its structure, a fractured leadership dynamic destroys the baseline security of the therapeutic environment. Beyond the internal dynamics of a single session, leaders must manage the ultimate boundary of the group, its ending. In group work, the phase of termination functions as a distinct clinical task, requiring careful planning. Endings frequently trigger feelings of loss and abandonment, especially for members with a history of disrupted relationships or trauma. The leader's handling of these final weeks determines whether the ending reinforces a member's progress or unintentionally mimics the pain of past losses. A healthy termination begins well in advance. The leader makes deliberate space for the group to process the emotions that surface as the ending approaches. This is the time to consolidate and review the group's journey, acknowledging each member's specific progress and the gains they've made over time. The leader also establishes continuing care plans, ensuring the end of the group becomes a transition rather than an abandonment. Because abrupt or unacknowledged endings can undo months of work, a planned termination is the leader's final act of protection for the group.